Do I look like really persistent, aren't you?
Hey, what's up guys? Want to cover Alencia really quick because I think she has a really interesting kit. If I think a unit sucks, I probably just won't cover it. I think she's very interesting. And I'm going to go over her skills real quick and just kind of analyze stuff and see if she kind of fits where the game is now. So, Alencia, the ancient noble pureblood dragon, has kind of Orbis. Alencia is an earth elemental warrior whose damage increases proportional to her health. Meet this warrior today, alright. So here she is. She is a Cancer. I can't recall any 5-star warrior that is a Cancer. I know General Purgus is a Cancer, but he's a 4-star. None come to mind that are a 5-star. Ravi and Ken are Capricorns, right? So, really got no one to compare her to, base stat-wise. I don't think we can see her base stats here, but I'm gonna assume she's tanky. Because General Purgus, the 4-star Cancer, is tanky, with low base attack. So, okay, so I'm not too worried about her description here. But let's go ahead and look at her skill 1. I'd rather look at this in-game, but I kind of want to get this video up before she's in the game so you guys can get my thoughts on it prior to her being in the game. Alright, so her skill 1, Eradicate, batters the enemy with a 60% chance to decrease defense for 1 turn. That's good. A 1 turn high chance defense break is good on her skill 1, and if I remember correctly, she can activate a skill 2 after she does skill 1, so potentially hitting her own defense break is really good, and Soul Burn increases the effect chance to 100% and decreases defense target for 2 turns. Okay, that's sick actually. Her skill 1 is so good. Skill Enhance, more damage, more effect chance. So I'm guessing the 60% up here is maxed when you max Mola it. So her skill 1's very strong. Her skill 2 is a passive, Noble Blood. 25% chance to grant Mind's Eye to the caster for 1 turn when attacked. When the caster uses Eradicate while granted Mind's Eye, it activates Trample. Mind you, she has to get attacked to activate this, which makes her a very solid pick into AoEs, which makes her very solid. I literally think this is like, they know SSB is a problem. This unit is very good into SSB. Very good into SSB. Like, stupid good into SSB, if you think about it. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Trample strikes the enemy, decreasing the cooldown of Genesis by 1 turn, which Genesis, I'm assuming, is your skill 3. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Effect chance goes up. Does this go up to 50% or does it max out at 25? Like, it has to go up after this, right? Does that make her S1 a 75% chance when it's molded? I would assume so, because Terranor Guard has 75% chance to defense break with S1. So I'm guessing this goes up to 75, which is pretty sick. This is a Mola dependent character. This is a character that you want to plus 15. Like, she's going to be very underwhelming unless you invest really heavy into her. Which is kind of unfortunate for me because I already have Violet plus 14, Euphine plus 14, and Charles plus 15. But I think she might make me bring another green unit up that high, just because her kit is just really good, especially in the meta right now with SSB. It's really good against SSB. So, okay, so we'll just read After Awaken for her Genesis skill. Attacks all enemies with Dragon Might, dispelling all buffs and granting increased defense to all allies for 2 turns. Defense buff is really good, guys. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. It's a base 5 cooldown. It goes down to 4, and then the cooldown reduces, right? Huh. Yeah, so whenever she uses the Trample, and she's granted Mind's Eye, she reduces the cooldown. Yeah, I think she might be like on Lilius level of strong, to be honest. And you guys know me, generally, if I see a unit, I can tell if it's going to be good or not, just by looking at it. I knew SSB was going to be busted, even though when people kind of had doubts. I knew Dizzy was going to be busted. before she was even in the game, and people had doubts about that. I knew Charles was going to be top of the meta whenever they showed him. I knew Lilius was going to be top of the meta too. I mean, really not top, but she's definitely up there. I think this is another case. I knew Luluka was going to be shit, and how often you see Luluka. So, yeah, let's, her artifact is okay. People think this sucks, but people are not paying attention to the fact that this artifact doesn't fall off like Hellcutter does. Hellcutter resets every turn. This maxed out gives you 40% crit on your artifact. That's nuts. It's actually insane. This is an artifact that would be great at plus 30. Especially on a unit like a Ravi. Like, people are using Draco Plate, right, on Ravi or Durandal or whatever. I think this is better, because you can effectively ignore putting any crit on your Ravi and build her stupid damage just by having this artifact. And generally, she's going to be slow on counter anyways. I think this artifact is good, and people think it sucks because they think it falls off, probably. This thing doesn't fall off. It's 40 free crit on your artifact. Even at plus 15, it's 30% crit. 30% crit on an artifact. Just let that sink in for a bit. Crit is the hardest stat to get unless you have it on your neck. Just having this artifact alone allows you to run a crit damage necklace while keeping a full counter set, keeping a full speed set, not having to go, you know, crit immunity. This artifact's good. Anyone that thinks it's not good, I don't know what to really say. I don't want to insult anybody, just because they're, I don't want to say ignorant, but you know, they just, I guess, like, at face value, it doesn't look like it's great, but this artifact is sick. Okay, it's a lot of crit. Yes, there's some other good warrior artifacts for sure, but when you're looking for just raw stats on a slower unit, this is great. Doesn't do anything on turn 1, but RTA fights last a long time. That's what you need to look at with this. So I think the artifact is good. Even at plus 15, it's good. If you're really lacking crit on something and it's slow, put this on it. It's great. So let's go back and like compare multipliers here. So all of her skills, all of her skill 1s have a 0.5 attack, which is really bad. Okay? But her health scaling isn't that bad. If you were to compare her to, like, I wrote down like some units that she compares to in terms of scaling. And these units are Lilius, Arabi, FCC, CC, Dark Corvus, and Kin. Obviously, Kin has the insane scaling. Like, his S1, in comparison to her, has the same health damage modifier, but he gets an extra 0.5 from attack. That damage difference is huge. So she's not going to benefit as much from attack as these other units. I think, like, ignoring attack on her is just the way to go. Other units, like even Lilius's S1 will do more damage than Alencia's S1, but I understand they had to make her multipliers low just because you guys gotta look at, like, she can defense break into another attack. She's the only unit in the game that can do that. She's gonna hit harder than Charles. And if you soul burn, you basically guarantee a defense break. She's going to be very stat hungry. You're going to want her decently tanky, but I think counter is a very viable build. I think speed is a very viable build. You can build her a lot of different ways. You could even build her on destruction. It really just depends on what kind of gear you have and how it rolled. But I think those random pieces of gear, like, I'll show you some examples of gear here that's just, like, perfect for her. I know I have a couple pieces in here. I just rolled a piece that's probably perfect for her today. So, I know I have a helm in here. Let me find it. This one? Not that one. This one. Yeah, so, like, gear like this. No attack sub, but every other sub is useful. That's the kind of stuff that you're looking to put on her. So if you have this random gear laying around, I have another one in here somewhere. This one? Yeah, like this one. Doesn't have any HP on it, so maybe not so much that one, but like these weapons that you get out of Hell Raid, Really good candidate for those as well. Ideally, I would want her to keep her on immunity because that strip is very nice. You could build her fast, you could build her slow. Like, she's a very diverse unit, and she has the type of kit that I like. She's very similar to in the Charles, and she's a hard counter to SSB. SSB is gonna basically give her free Mind's Eye the entire time, and I think Max Mullet and Mind's Eye has 50% chance to proc. So, in SSB's turn cycle, she's gonna hit you with S2, S3. You're pretty much gonna get that Mind's Eye, and then you could just one-shot SSB, S1, and the S2. You don't even need the S3. If you have that Soul Burn, you guarantee land that defense break. I think she's sick. I think everybody should pull for her. You should go all in for her, especially if you don't have Charles. Especially if you don't have fucking Charles. This is your... If you're struggling with SSB in any area of the game, this is the unit that will save your ass. Yeah. Just looking at her modifiers here, her damage is probably comparable to Fire Cecilia's. That's the closest thing. For direct comparison here, like Alencia is 0.5 with a 1 POW, 10% health. Fire Cecilia is a 0.7 with a 1 POW with 7% health. That's about even in terms of how much damage they do. And the S3 is pretty comparable as well. Alencia is, 0.5 with a 1 POW and 15%, and Fire Cecilia is a 0.6 with a 1.05, 12% HP scaling. So, I've seen Fire Cecilia hit pretty fucking hard. So, Alencia can hit pretty hard with her S3 as well. Thing is, like, don't try and build her on attack. I think her attack scaling is so abysmally bad, like it's worse than Lilius's. So, you literally ignore attack. All of your attack subs you should just put into more defensive stats. She's going to be hitting her own defense breaks anyways. I honestly think having more effectiveness on her than attack is just going to benefit you more. And even her artifact, if you can forsake like a bunch of crit and push like 300 crit damage, then that's the kind of route you want to go. You want her really tanky, you want to ignore attack, you want to probably get a decently high amount of effectiveness. I would say maybe like 70-ish, a good higher end, so that way you guarantee landing on DPS, but if something has, a bit more effective resistance, like some of the lower end Ruels that are at like 120 and stuff, you can still manage to defense break them with some good luck. Around 780 effectiveness. And then give her as much HP as possible, whether she's on counter, whether she's on speed. I think having some degree on speed would be good. I think you could ignore speed boots if you're on speed set, but I think on counter set you're gonna still want to have speed boots, unless you're using her with like Lilius or something. I think her with Lilius is gonna be insane. If you can chain like, it's actually nuts. I might actually break open the wallet to get her. I didn't realize how good she was, and this is my first time looking at her, so. Yeah, if you want my recommendation, I say dump all your resources into this. It's a shame they just released Crow. I just summoned Crow. So, I'm definitely going to get her. She looks like a unit that's going to be really fun. I was moling S10, but I think I'm going to stop moling S10 and put my molas into Alencia from now on. Even though she's just another green unit, but that's fine. SSB is an issue. Sometimes my opponent in RTA picks Charles and SSB. Alencia is just going to be a good, safe pick into that. So, I'm going to pull her. That's my thoughts. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you guys want me to do more videos like this, I'll do it. Like maybe each new banner. But, yeah. This video has to do well first before I go and do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit my ass on RTA. So, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy New Year. Good luck. Peace.